Welcome to my chip cleaning and oiling guide. Here we have some dirty chips, and when we get done with this project, they should look like this. So to start out, you need some chips. We have some dirty chips here, and here's some of the things that we're going to use. I'm going to use some Dawn, we're going to use some mineral oil, and I'm not going to use it for these chips because these are old leaded Paulsons, but a little bit of OxiClean if you have some chips that might be able to withstand it. We've got a strainer, we've got some different bowls, and we have a sink area and a towel in which we're going to dry them off. Now, as I sit here, I will go on and look at some of my favorite YouTube videos while I work, and I will show you that process shortly. As you can see, I'm filling one bowl with water, warm, not hot. I'm going to add a little bit of Dawn detergent to it. I'm going to turn the water off. Then I'm going to take a couple of barrels of dirty chips, mix them in the water, let them soak for a minute. Again, it's not hot, but it's warm. Now I've got another bowl here filled with warm water, which I have a strainer in. And you'll see how that comes into play later. I'm going to put this glove on, mix the chips up a little bit, and then I'm going to start scrubbing, and I'll show you that in a second. As you can see, I've got my glove on. I'm going to take this faucet and I'm going to turn it on really mild, just a little bit. Mix up the chips, mix them up a little bit. I'm going to take a chip out. I'm going to hold it in my hand, and with my little nail brush, I'm going to scrub ever so slightly on each side. Once I've done that, I'm going to take that, I'm going to rinse it off in the lukewarm water, and then I'm going to toss it into that chip bowl that I had before. Okay. So we've put a bunch of chips that we've cleaned into their little barrel. Now, while we deal with that, I'm going to take some more chips. I'm going to dump them into our soaking solution of soap and warm water. And these chips need to soak. Ooh. Okay, so then what do we do with these? Well, what I like to do is take them out of the strainer. That's why I put them in a strainer. Some of that water off, and then I just lay them out on the towel and I spread them out. Now I'll organize them nicely, and when I get done with organizing them, I'll take a towel and I'll pat the top of them dry as well. And so what we have is some really thirsty chips. We've cleaned them out, dried them off, and they're thirsty. They're a little paler, and let me contrast that by putting it next to a chip that has been oiled. You can see the differences in the tone. A little bit richer when it's the oiled chip, a little bit more pop for the colors. So what we're going to do is we are going to take a bowl with a strainer in it, and we are going to add a couple of capfuls of mineral oil. Here. Now I'm just going to estimate the capfuls, but it's not much at all. Just a little bit. See it kind of sitting on the surface like that. It's just a couple of capfuls. It's not much. Probably a couple tablespoons when it comes to this whole size bowl. And so we're going to kind of mix it up a little bit. You really don't need much oil at all. Just how fast can somebody oil an entire rack of chips by the oil water trick? Well, let's find out. All right, still not done. We still have a little bit of oil on there. I like to spread out the chips onto a nice towel. And once you do that, take another towel. Time. Well, folks, as you can see, it's easy to get a nice, clean, even oiling on these chips. Now, I'll set them out, maybe continue to pat them out. There's no clumping of oil. They don't feel oily at this point. I just give them a little pat with the other towel. They're perfectly oiled, and it was a minute for a rack or less. So there you have it, folks. Cleaning and oiling your chips, done easy. As you can see, the racks, about 5 minutes after oiling and wiping down the edges, look identical. Now the chip on the right was washed and oiled and done doing the oiling with the pressing in method with the cloth, and the chip on the left was done with the oil water trick. Pretty close and identical in all respects. The washing method that I used with the scrubbing was definitely more labor intensive than some of the sonic, ultrasonic cleaners that I've seen people use. I would recommend those, but the oil water trick is by far the best method I've ever seen for oiling chips, and I've oiled tens of thousands of chips.